All right, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is Crypto Takeover again, coming back at you with another video. So I wanted to go over some of the things that would line up to be that to signify certain bottoms in a bear market. And so what I've been doing is kind of looking at Cipher B to determine what Cipher B can tell us about long-term trends and some past trends that we've been through as well. So I wanted to pull up the BLX chart. Hey guys, if y'all aren't aware, but I am doing a giveaway. Y'all need to be signed up at cryptotakeover.io. You just need to have your YouTube name in there and put in your email address, and then I'll be doing a Ledger Nano S giveaway at 500 subs. So the best way that we can get this moving along is to let that channel grow, right? And it's gonna help if y'all like this video. Y'all comment down below, tell me what your favorite altcoin is, share the video of course, and subscribe. So yeah, I'll be doing that giveaway, just a reminder and a heads up. So back to Cipher B, right? I think I kind of wanted to go over some of the longer time frames just to see like what I could tell based on some of these higher time frames, previous trends in the market. So what I was doing was going by the 3-day and 4-day, and a couple of things I noticed, but here on our 3-day and Cipher B, so we do have this bullish divergence that's being put in, and that was kind of the same thing that we did at 3,500 as well, right? But one thing I did come back here to kind of look at some of our previous bear markets was, did we ever go underneath our zero pivot point? And yes, we did a couple of different times. This was, I would still consider this at the beginning of our bull market, right? And of our bull market of 2016 to 2017, right? So where can we signify some bottoms that took place with our 3-day big green dot, right? And so we did have a big green dot here, right? And then we came back up just a tad bit, but then we put in another big green dot here as well. So we put in a couple of big green dots here on our 3-day, right? And this was in a previous bear market that we were in at in 2014 to 2015, right? And that previous bear market. And we put in a significant amount of big green dots on our 3-day as well. So that's pretty much as far as the data can take us back to. This was all the way back when Bitcoin was just coming out, 2011. Two big green dots there, right? So let's take a look at our 4-day here and see exactly if we can trend it up and then retrace and go back just a little bit to see what has happened before. So we probably will be putting in another bullish divergence here on our 4-day, the same thing that we did here on our 3,500 level area as well. So it looks like we had some. I noticed that we were in the red money flow here, and in this one we are in the green money flow. So it does look like it wants to clip back down into that red money flow as well. So let's go back down here to our 2014-2015 bear market cycle, right? And you can see that we put in quite a few big green dots down here as well throughout our 2014-2015 bear market. And the money flow is in red here. So as you can see here, we put in a big green dot, but our money flow is in green like it is right now. But so then we came back up to kind of put in some bullish moves, but then we came back down. Money flow ended up in the red. So honestly, that's what I would want everything to line up on bottom, and that's kind of looking like what these previous trend lines have done, right? This previous trend supports and indicators have shown us before, is that everything has lined up to the bottom to indicate that we had bottomed out in a bear market, right? So we have our red money flow with our big green dots, and right now we have a green money flow with the big green dot. So let's go into our 5-day here, and so not to seem super bearish right now, right? I said we could experience a few more pumps like we did on that 4-day. We had a big move up after that big green dot, we had a big move up to the upside, and then we came back down. And that was kind of my indication as well in my previous video on Bitcoin. So I know CryptoFace talked about the 5-day and 6-day as well, talking about, you know, these two waves here, indicating that they're like Fang waves or something. And so that's an interesting concept and idea. But as you can see, we're in the green money flow here, and then we had our Fang waves, but then it signified that we still came further back down, right? So being that we're still in the green money flow, I think people are still not as bearish, right? And I think Tone Bays was even talking about that people are not fearful enough just yet. And so that's why he feels like we still need to go a little bit lower. And so back on our 2014, 2015, so let's take into the equation that we haven't had a big green dot yet either, right? And then we come back here to our 2014, 2015, and it does look like we kind of had like this Fang movement as well here, boom, and two big green dots on our 5-day, and then we also had a two smaller green dots here as well, but everything's in the red money flow as well. It does look like here that we kind of let's go back just a little bit more real quick, see what we did here. Two big green dots side by side, and then we started to make our way back upwards. So another thing I was kind of looking at was our EMA ribbon, this 5 EMA ribbon, and to see when it started to turn transparent and turn white, right? So as you can see, we've been trending under this for a while now, our 3-day. And as you can see here, when this thing starts to turn a transparent color on our 3-day, that indicates that we are kind of in a bearish market as well too, right? And if we come back over here, they did have this little fake out and then moved its way back up. But we had already been underneath it for so long. So this is the first time that it's turned transparent for a while, right? So yeah, so let's go back into our 5-day. So that's one thing that we need to keep an eye on as well. And then our 5-day, it has started to turn into that transparent color, that clear color, right? Honestly, this feels like an area that we are kind of in right now. It's where we could see a large move back to the upside and then continue our way back down. And let's just see how big of a move this was right here. So let's take it from here to here. It's about a 60% move. I mean, that's kind of what I've been calling for too, right? In my previous video. Probably a 50% move to the upside first, and then we continue our way back down. So, yeah, with that being said, we could see one more move back to the downside and then shoot up as well as, you know, 2. So we are on our 5-day here. Let's go into our 6-day, see what's going on. And then if I come up here, so we are still in our white ribbon here, but that could possibly change, right? It does look like it probably wants to end up turning transparent pretty soon, the further we head down. And our 6-day does kind of look like it wants to put in a big green dot. I can open this back up. So, I mean, that kind of looks like a big green dot there as well. So, or like it could be something like that. So, if we come back over here, we did have 2 big green dots as well here. Money flow had to come to the red side. Money flow is just coming out of the red, kind of turning greenish. So let's see if we've had something similar to that, where it came out of the red. So not really, right? But I would say that if we end up putting in a big green dot, that would be pretty bullish, kind of. But it could be something like this, to where we put in a big green dot and then we have some more retracement, because I Our money flow is just now clipping into the green. Yeah, and what we really have to consider is these higher time frames take they're gonna overrule all the smaller time frames, and so that's why I really kind of wanted to come do this analysis real quick. Is like, okay, well, our higher time frames, when did they get our big green dots, right? And when did they have big green dots before that? And what was the money flow and this and that, right? So let's take a look at this again. Yeah, let's go into our weekly time frame. And I'm on the BLX chart. This gives us the most data on Bitcoin for the most part. So it's been running the longest to give us the most data. And so our weekly, this could end up being a big green dot as well, but we'll keep an eye on it. And then we do have 2 big green dots here as well. See what we did back here at 2011. Not a big green dot, just a move to the downside. So our weekly came to the downside and then it came back up. How many times did we come to the downside? So here, and then we came back up. Here, up. So pretty big move to the upside there for us to come back down. Yeah, so so because we had this like quick run up to 14K, it's kind of throwing me off a little bit because we really didn't do any other move like that besides this, but this seems like it's kind of staying down there a little bit longer too. So what could happen is that we put in a big green dot, but then we do something like this as well. And our weekly is still in a red money flow right now. We did have a little clip up on the, but clip up here. And then, yeah. So we're wanting to peek in to that green money flow, but it doesn't quite look like it's quite ready just yet. So let's go to our 2 week here, see what's going on. So this might be kind of telling for us as well. So what we're seeing here is that bear market, right? We came down, up, and then not quite a bear market just yet. Quick fake out, down, bear market, all the way underneath the 0 pivot point, right? Bull market, underneath the pivot point, bear market. Okay, and then so let's see what exactly happened. When did this finally turn? So after we crossed underneath it, we couldn't get back above this EMA line as well either. But the money flow never really turned red on our 2 week. The only thing that I noticed on our 2 week is that we did have to come back down. We did have to come back down, but what could end up happening is something like this, where we barely clip under the 0 pivot point. And then that gives us maybe like a trigger wave to come back up to the upside. What I'd really want to see on the 2 week is a green dot. I think the 2 week green dot would tell a lot for us. So, no pun intended, but it would tell us if Bitcoin is 2 week to continue its bull run or not, or if the bears are 2 week or whatever, however you want to play with that word. But yeah, so I think that us coming under the 0 pivot point is inevitable, but then we're going to have to see when that green dot gets put in. And I think that would give us a pretty, more of a bullish sign that we are closer to the bottomish area as well. But we could also maybe say, oh, we need another big green dot, Could be something like that. Because what I'm curious about and what I'm really anticipating my moves, especially with trading, and especially if I wanted to trade leverage, which y'all can get signed up if y'all want with Bybit, but I do not recommend you trading with your actual Bitcoin, just use the testnet, and you can get signed up with the link in the description below, but then use the chat box here and ask them how to use testnet, and try trading that way just to get an idea. And if you don't want to wait for the giveaway, then you can just order your own Ledger Nano X or S, whichever you prefer. I'm doing the giveaway of the S, but then if you want to go ahead and grab the X, it's a pretty cool device. It's a cold storage device, so y'all can go ahead and use that link down in the description below. And I do have a Telegram group, not too many members in there yet, but we can grow it. So yeah, y'all can get signed up for that. So yeah, our 2 week is pretty telling of when we come under this zero pivot point on our Cipher B pattern as well. We can take a look at the 3 week, just see what it might be telling us as well. So we did have this pretty substantial move to the downside, and so with our 3 week, if we are going to continue lower, we're going to have to come under the zero pivot point as well. And that didn't really occur until about right here, and then boom. Okay, kind of look at the 2 week here. This is the weekly. Okay, so boom, came up, Christmas lighted all the way through, and then boom, a big drop. That's possible as well too. We are already in the red money flow right now. We did have that peak up on the weekly. It's probable. It's going to be hard for us to get up here on this weekly, right? Because of our red money flow as well. But like we did it here without putting in any red dots, and it looked like we had a lot of sell pressure too. But the RSI also hasn't crossed into a buy territory either. So our RSI crossed here, said, oh, it's time to buy, and we went off to the moon. Or it was basically like, hey, get ready, it's about to head up. So our RSI is still kind of in this red area as well, which is a bearish area to be in. Let's take a look at that 2 week, see what happened here. That's another one I kind of want to have to go over to, our RSI, to see what that was telling us. Let's go back to our 3-day RSI and kind of see what that's saying. Sorry, it's a longer video than, but at the same time, we're kind of in a guessing boat right now with Bitcoin. It's kind of nerve-wracking, but at the same time, we gotta learn how to control our emotions and just wait for the market to come to us, right? So as you can see here, after the kind of blow off top at about right here, our RSI has been red the whole time. It's our 3-day. We come back here on the charts. And then when did it start to go into our green area, indicating that it's a pretty good time to start buying? So all through here, I'm more curious about RSI here, higher time frames. Well, this was right at that drop there when it started turning green. Hey, it's time to buy. RSI is telling us it's time to buy. And then blow off top right here. So we could see something like that. That's on the 5-day. See what it did back here. RSI is telling us to buy. Interesting. And then we started our bull market there. So that's one thing that we might need to keep an eye out on, is our RSI on these higher time frames, like the 5-day and the 6-day, and maybe even the weekly. And then that 5-day was pretty telling on the RSI as well. I might have to take some notes to that too. So let's take a look here. RSI told us to buy pretty much at the bottom of this blow off top of the 6-day. Like I said, the 6-day, from the 6-day probably to the 2 week is a pretty significant chart. That's where I'm keeping my eye on it, at least. And so we were in the green the whole time here, blow off top, okay, red. Okay, so we know that we're still kind of in a downwards area right now. We haven't quite bottomed probably until this RSI starts to turn green. Then that'll be a good indication for us. So let's take a look back here where we are on the 6-day. Started to turn green here. Pretty significant low. Okay, and then we started to come back up, right? So our RSI is it's still pretty high right now too as well, compared to some of these other bear markets. So as you can see, let's go here. RSI is turning green. Oh, wait, is it green? Yeah, I think it's green. Yeah. Okay, so it started to turn green right here. Came up all the way up here. Okay. Turned red. So I really like when the RSI kind of turns green. That's a pretty good indication that it's kind of a significant bottom too as well. It's kind of interesting. Let's go to our weekly here. Okay. Started to turn green there. Started to turn green right here. Pretty significant bottom. Started to turn green right here at a significant bottom. Okay, so that's something we need to take note of and keep an eye on as well. But right now it does look like we still have some room to go down. But we will keep an eye on that to see when it decides to turn green for us. So as you can see, it's been red the whole time here with not really that much data on our monthly chart. Let's go into our 2-week. Started to turn green here. So it hasn't even turned red on our 2-week. But it does look like it's about to cross it. So that's one thing I've been kind of overlooking as well. But it was never green back here to begin with either. And then we just had it as red as it started to trend up on our 2-week. And then it turned green here. It's a substantial bottom. But as you can see, like, our RSI really never really stayed that close to that green line. It had a really big blow off top there as well. And then right about here, December or January 2017, it started to turn red, and Bitcoin still kept going. And then here it started to turn green here, but it didn't keep going. It just kind of started to fall off, and now it's about to turn red again. So our RSI is going to be something that we need to take note of on our weekly, probably, or probably our 6-day. 6-day to weekly would be the RSI, so I'll take a mental note of that. Let me see if I can just pull up notes here. Sticky notes. All right, and so we could say 6-day to weekly RSI turning green is bottom. And then we were gonna wait for our 2-week to turn. So our 2-week would be substantial for I think our bottoming pattern as well, to see when we start to have that curvature up as well. So what we want to see is kind of some move towards the downside and maybe a green dot on the 2-week. So, but what I'm thinking is yeah, that's like when it comes underneath this pivot point, I think that will be a substantial idea to know that we're continuing down or that we are finding a bottom somewhere, right? So this 5400 right here, yeah, man, it's gonna be time will tell, right? We could have that big blow off top to a 60% move to the upside, which some of our like mid time frames are kind of maybe saying that, but then once we get into these 6-day and weekly, they're telling us that, hey, we still have some more room to the downside as well. And then our money flow also on our 6-day. We had that peak up here on the weekly, but still in kind of a red money flow as well. So yeah, and then I'll say big green dot on weekly. Okay. All right, y'all. So yeah, just take note of that. We'll keep y'all up to date on certain things and what we have going on. I'm working on a Discord group as well too, and so that way when I do my live streams, we can be in the Discord chat, just chatting it up, looking at charts together while we live stream. And so thank y'all for supporting the channel. Go ahead and comment down below. Tell me what your favorite altcoin is, and I'll put it in the review queue for us. So if y'all want to get started with browsing the web with the Brave browser, it's an easy way to earn BAT token by clicking the ads, and then you just get BAT directly deposited to your Brave rewards right up here, your Brave wallet. And then if y'all want to start mining Bitcoin directly from your web browser, we have Crypto tab, and the link is down in the description below for that. If y'all want to message me, y'all can message me on Twitter, CryptoTakeover_, and I'll get back with y'all on there. But yeah, other than that, I just kind of wanted to give another larger overview. Some of these higher time frames, they do rule the overall trend market, so we do need to keep an eye on them as well. So that RSI was kind of telling for us as well. That's something I hadn't really looked at before. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I'll get back with y'all soon enough. Peace.